So, all right, man. It is Sunday. It's 20 after 10 local time here, and yeah, another fucking weekend of rugby, man. I,
Yeah, look, it went about as what we expected.
something we did discuss last week. Player of the Year nominations. Looks like we were both three out of four being Springboks. But being that we're Springbok fans, we're never happy, and we still had to complain about the fact that there was no Oxen Shay on the fucking
Yeah, look, I still think he got snubbed.
yeah,
Look, I
oh yeah,
mean,
everybody does.
let's be honest, okay? The people that was there, they also deserving of a spot, right? I mean, the way Peter Steph has played, the way Evans played, the way Jason Colby's played, they're all just like phenomenal players, right? I'd like to see one of the big boys get it, mate. Like just like one of the, the rough and tough fronter, the guys that like put you on the front foot ball all the time,
It was funny because it's typically the people that absolutely fucking can't stand Springbok rugby, but then they were like, "Yeah, it's kind of bullshit that Oxen Shay isn't on there." You know what I mean? Like they even saw it. People that don't like the Springboks even saw it. We do get Sasha Feinberg as Breakthrough Player of the Year as well nominated, and
Yeah,
I don't think he wins that. I think that that All
I
Black
think Wallace Atiti.
Paulus Atiti gets that, which I mean, rightfully so. That guy is fucking
Look,
good.
look. To be quite frank, right? If Sasha didn't get injured and he continued playing the way he was playing, sure, hands down, I would have voted for him, right? But he did get injured and he didn't play in a number of games up to the end of the year. So I just think we saw a bit more of Wallace Atiti um, over his campaign this year, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I if he like I said, I wanted to see Wallace Atiti earlier in the year. Obviously, Sasha
Mm,
going out in the middle of the rugby championship, but
yeah.
um, I feel like we're going to talk about the other games, but I just want to go ahead and get into the main game that counts. Jordan Hendricksa.
Yeah. I was pleasantly surprised, mate. Like he played well. He played well. Sure, he missed maybe like touch a couple of times, but I mean, bro, it's his second game. Okay, he linked up so well with his brother.
Obviously,
Um, flipping try of note. Okay, running that line. Um, yeah, I think it's been a dream start for him. In that jersey,
he
and yeah, he played flipping well, man.
he
Like
he put
really
his hand
did.
up. He definitely put his
Mm.
hand up.
Yeah,
And
I'm sure he's a contender now.
he
Um,
was in the mix. He was in the
mm,
shit the whole fucking game, man. Like even when they brought on Hondre, he made sure
mm.
Hondre stayed at 12, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
be his man. And it's like he had a nice banana kick on one of the conversions that looked, really cool on TV. The big boys, Eben and Franco getting the scoring started off not what I expected, but it
Yeah,
was
I know.
it was good to see Sos get a try. You could see he smiled. It was a happy moment for him, and we were happy for him because it was like shit, dude. You come back after a broken leg, and
Yeah.
yeah, last week,
And we weren't sure how he was holding up after going off at 40 minutes in the
yeah,
last game, right?
and he
So,
of the match, yeah,
uh,
he was fucking
but
solid.
yeah, look, I mean, for when do you ever call it that like two locks back to back, like try,
Yeah,
like a couple of minutes apart, like you wouldn't have guessed it, and they ran sort of the same lines, mate, like. It's like on the sideline with the fast paced Oaks, and they just like get that pass off, and there you go over the fucking try
it
line.
was. And like I said, I don't want to look too much into it because it was Wales. They are
Yeah.
absolutely fucking terrible, man. Like this is the worst I've ever seen them, and it
Yeah.
was so bad at one point that a hooker was kicking and chasing his own kicks. A hooker. Like
Now
that's how.
look, we're not gonna play that game where we pretend like we are number one now because we've beaten the recent like tier two teams. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, because to be quite frank, Wales is sort of there at the moment, unfortunately, right? Like,
they would arguably be the worst tier one team right now.
yeah, yeah.
Unquestionably. I think
So
Japan would beat them right now.
yeah,
Like
so I mean Australia,
beat them.
yeah. So, and they're the western and southern hemisphere for us at the moment. So, so yeah, that goes to show that it's actually sad to see because they're actually quite a great team. Usually, like historically,
We've
right? And
discussed this. Like I've got
yeah,
no beef with Wales, like at all. Like I don't look down on them. I don't think they're
mm,
horrible people. I don't think their fans are bad. And I feel
mm,
bad for them, but they're shit right now. That's
yeah,
that's what they are. They're
yeah.
shit right now.
You got to be able to be realistic, mate. And we expected we could have run out a C team on that game, and we probably would have beaten them still. So
Yeah.
um, so yeah, it's it. You want to get excited and everything, but also we also didn't capitalize on a lot of our opportunities that we created. As I feel like there was a lot of points left on the board. Just pure like some poor handling errors that happened and stuff like that. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was a great. Hello, crazy NZ.
And Zed,
Um,
yeah, he's one of my Kiwi followers.
yeah, welcome, thank you. But yeah, so yeah, it's hard to look down on them. You don't want to kick a dog when they're down, right? So
I Yeah, and I don't, and like that's why I'm not gonna sprint a great deal now. I didn't watch the game from my studio. I went out. I got a local bar to put it on the jumbotron. Um,
yeah,
Great experience. Had maybe 12 to maybe 16 Springbok fans out there, and it was people I'd never met really
yeah,
before. So it was a lot of new ones. The couple that sat with me and Jess, because there's like a stage area that we sat because it was covered.
yeah,
Weather was perfect. It was like 16 to 18 degrees, a little bit of wind, but lots of food trucks. So it just smelled amazing. You smelled like a hibachi place just to the right, to
yeah,
the north of us, and then we had a pizza place behind us. Oh man, it smelled great. It smelled like you're at a braai because every time the wind blew from that hibachi place, you just smelled the meat and um, really great experience. I've gotta reach out and touch base with Eastside just to kind of thank them for that whole thing because they had the volume up perfectly and like it was just but you could tell the way the match was going by about the 45th minute because nobody was really, we were looking, but we were really just talking more than it, because it was painfully obvious. Like,
yeah, yeah,
this was not going to be close. And um, so it was a good experience. A little bit bittersweet at the end just because we know we don't play again until, you know,
yeah. Next year,
July, you
yeah,
know?
7 months, 8 months.
And you looked at some of those guys, and are any of these guys, was this their last? Thankfully, I can't say that any of these guys it was their last run,
Mm.
which really makes me wonder. I bet we're gonna have Philly next summer. They're gonna get him to his 100th cap. I
You think
guarantee.
so?
Yeah, they're gonna get him to his 100th cap. I mean, it's only right. But in the same respects, it was like, yeah, Vilco Low definitely put his hand up. Thomas Tatoy had a fucking shift like crazy. I mean, we struggled at line out, which you expected with Johan Krobler because he's so
Yeah.
inexperienced, but we knew we were. So I don't know if you noticed, they were packing a center out at the end of the line out because they knew he was going to overthrow or we were going to throw deep. Um, once Audhey came in is when we started throwing a little bit more shallow lineouts
Yeah.
because it's fucking Audhey's and he's 6'9". Like you can't miss a target that big. But
Yeah.
um, I thought everybody did great. Cheslin, great. Kurtley, Jesse Creel definitely came out like he knew he played like shit last week and came out and put a proper shit. Finally, Fossey had a few fuck ups here
He,
and there.
he listened to our podcast and he was like, "Oh fuck, I don't want to like disappoint
Yeah,
these boys again."
I can't deal with that 2 weeks in a row. But it was yeah. So I don't want to dwell. We beat the shit out of them. It's Wales. Who cares? We finished the
Yeah.
Northern Tour undefeated. But unfortunately, that's going to be overshadowed. Gotta congratulate Nick Mullins on his deal with Grinder, the Grinder, the meetup app. Look, I love these guys, but I do like. Look.
Next time they're gonna have it ISIS on there, mate. It's like
I'm gonna like I'm secure enough in my masculinity to say
yeah,
like, oh, a dude looks good. Like Jesse Krill is a good looking cat. Like I'm not gonna lie, or like Andre Pollard. But to hear a guy say when Antoine Depus, because I'm not saying his name because that's what he is, he's a Depus, but Depus, when he kicks off the left or right foot to say that, oh, not many scrum halves can kick both off their left and right foot, and I'm like,
yeah.
every scrum half can kick off their left or right foot.
It's only like 100 of them.
Like every time he did something, he acted like it was like he was witnessing the greatest rugby player, and I'm like, dude, the guy is like average at best. Like he wasn't the reason they won the game. Like he
Yeah,
didn't really even contribute to the game. And
yeah.
it was like to sit there and then just kind of like I had to, and I'm not the only one. I got on TikTok and found out a lot of people turned the volume off because they got sick of hearing this guy talk about Antoine Dupos every time he touched the ball.
But who was this? Was this like an English
No, it was
commentator or French
English.
one?
It was an English commentator, and it's like, look, I get it, guys. You want to maintain some kind of, and you know what? Congrats on France going undefeated. I know that Japan team is on the up and up. Like you got to beat fucking Japan to go undefeated. We played, yeah. We could arguably say, yeah, we beat Wales, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, yeah,
we
yeah.
also didn't play Argentina either. We didn't. Yeah, Cam Rorgard is better. When the All Blacks played them and lost, Cam Rorgard was better than Antoine
Yeah,
Dupos.
yeah.
Period. Point blank. But of course, that's going to be the story now. They're going to talk about it, and oh, they're going to win the Six Nations. And then I asked my Irish friends, and they're like, "The fuck they are! Like that's not happening." Um.
They're gonna
So
put them in their place. Fuck that.
yeah, they won. Argentina had a meh tour, in my opinion. But the other one of big note. Oh, I'm wearing my USA jersey. USA beat Spain yesterday. So they beat Tonga, Spain, and Portugal. And now they're US rugby fans are saying, we want to play Six Nations teams next year. And I'm just like,
What?
for,
What?
for what? To get your ass handed to you? Pray that they
Man, Italy would beat the fucking
Oh,
brakes out
they
of
would beat the
of
shit out of the
Italy.
US. Yeah, like it wouldn't even be close. But anyways, so we get I haven't posted it yet because I don't want to
Mm.
piss anybody off, but
Uh, Tell me, I'll post it. I
no,
like pissing
no, no,
people
no.
off.
I look, Scotland did it, New Zealand did it, New Zealand did it, England did it, France did it. Beating Fiji is not the feat that you think it is, folks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We've
I know.
never lost to them. New Zealand's never lost to them. Ireland has never lost to them. Beating Fiji is not what you think. That wasn't a master class. That's what you do when you play Fiji and you're a tier 1 nation.
Yeah,
But they beat Wales. Wales is terrible.
yeah. No, it doesn't take a lot to beat Wales, to be quite frank.
It doesn't take a lot to beat Fiji. Ask Kiwi fans. Like it's not a massive accomplishment to put up 50 on a tier 2 team. We all can
Yeah,
do it. Like
yeah,
enjoy the win, but quit acting like you did something historic by beating Fiji, Ireland. Come on, you didn't and do anything historic, guys. Except get away with a blatant red card. That
Yeah,
Pendergast,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was a shoulder charge to the face. He should have gotten canned for that, but
yeah.
you know, Holly Davidson, she's allowed to make mistakes occasionally. But
No, she's not. They none of them aren't. I don't give a shit. If she wants equality, she will be treated as such.
I agree. I agree, man. So yeah, kind of just we got one last weekend. Weirdly enough, I think Australia plays Ireland next Saturday,
Yeah,
and that's it. But man, like we're back to URC next week or 2 weeks from now. I
yeah.
just
Looking forward to that, mate.
how did you feel? Let's just talk about how did you feel overall for this year for the Springboks? Like, were there anybody that there were some guys that really stepped up and really showed, hey, we're the future going forward. And then there were some guys that kind of like I was a bit worried about. How do you feel, man?
Oh, look. Um, Overall, I feel confident after this year. I'm still a little bit annoyed. I still believe we should have made it 13 from 13 because we should have never lost that Argentina game. And that, I mean, we kept giving 3 pointers away to Ireland on
Yeah,
fucking like on that
yeah,
one game. So with those drop kicks, but so I'm still a little bit annoyed about that. But historically, we finished the year what on like 67% or 60% around about there. This year we were around about 85. Yeah, 12 what 11 out of 13 games. So nice improvement. Um, of course, we did that whilst being managing, I guess, 51, 52 players in that pool. So a lot of
yeah.
disruption.
What an incredible show of depth that we had this year using 52 players. No one even came close. I think
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we're bleeding. We bled quite a lot of teams. So it was or a lot of players rather. So all things considered, I think a very successful year. Managing to get a quite a good win percentage, whilst at the same time blooding new players. So now I think ultimately I'm happy with the end results. Of course, there was players in the URC and all those type of places, which we all wanted them to get a shot. And I mean, they managed to get a shot. And, so even though some of them didn't really come up to, where we expected them to be, at least we still managed at the same time to say, okay, fine, now we can put that one to bed. That one's maybe not one for the future at the moment. But that one is like Fussy. Fussy was amazing. He's definitely one to keep for the future.
Yeah, yeah,
He's really
definitely.
proved himself. Guys like, for instance, Steenekamp shows that he's really
He's
need
the
to
real
be there in the
deal.
future.
He's the real deal. Yeah.
So there's a number of players that really put their hands up and showed like why they're there. Sasha Feinberg, before he
Ruan,
got injured,
Ruan Nortje.
Ruan Nokia. And then there
Definitely.
was other players that like had good games, then they had bad games, then they had good games, then like poor games. Guys like
Jordan
uh,
Hendrickson had a poor game and then had a good game.
yeah,
I felt like Kanan Moody had some okay,
he
good
had
games.
some hit and miss games.
Um, we didn't. You know what? I tried to pay attention to him once he came on the field, but by that point, the game was pretty much done with. And that was Cameron Hennecombe. He made his debut finally yesterday. From what I saw, it wasn't enough for him. Like
Yeah,
he's gonna need to be out there against like an All Blacks, against an Argentina, an England. He's gonna need to get out there on those
mm,
top tier because you can tell just in the bit that we saw of him, the kid's hungry,
yeah,
especially around the ruck. He's gonna be Dwayne
mm,
Freemulen level jackling skills is what he shows.
yeah.
Like he's just hungry. He's in the mix. Um, and it
But
was
he needs more of the 50, 60 minute games.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
like a 20 minute game.
We need to
So
see him start. We need to see him
yeah,
start a game. Jasper Fisa, a guy that like I was really worried about because it was kind of the debate of him or Evan Rus.
Mm, mm,
Jasper put his hand up. He is our number
yeah,
8. That's
yeah,
that's it. But I think Hanacom could definitely fight him for that. Like at this,
yeah.
like I'm not yet, but that could be a potential battle at 8. Will be him and Hanacom because they're
Mm,
both good players. Obviously, Jasper has the years of experience on him. Hanacom's
mm.
22 freaking years old. Like he hasn't even peaked yet. He hasn't even matured yet. So
So I think the difference there is that I mean you don't have to pick one or the other. You can choose both because
Hanacom can
like
play center.
let's have a look. Let's have a look at what Russ is doing. Okay, so number one, he's creating a bigger player pool. Okay, so that he has more to select from. Based on injuries and stuff like that. He's got backbone. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing that you need to consider is that um, he wants to try and manage player time. Okay, so that he can like elongate their lifespan, I guess, if you want to
Yeah,
call it that, for playing rugby. And thirdly, generally there is an like a little bit more forwards on that bench than backs, right? So,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
so there's always the opportunity for both of them to be selected. So one can learn from the other. Of course, in this case, I mean Honeycomb from Jasper Visa. So yeah, I do believe there's a space for both of them. I think they each bring something different to the game. Um, Honeycomb for me, I think he's got more dancing feet up scenario in him. Um,
Did you see
I think he can.
the quote
Yeah.
earlier this week from Hanacom?
What?
Talking about Formulin, about Dwayne, and
Yeah.
grew
What?
up
No.
grew up idolizing him, and now he calls
Yeah.
him coach, and it's like, whoa, like it's kind of everything's going full circle.
Yeah.
We're
Of course.
seeing everything. But sorry to interrupt there.
No. It's all good, mate.
So, and I
So
thought
so
great quote.
no, I just think they all have an opportunity there. So, I mean, there's not that many on the eighth man position because I do not think Quagga is an eighth man.
He's not a
Okay,
starter. He's definitely not a starter.
but he's also not an eighth man.
Yeah, yeah.
Where,
He's
where
a
you want him,
player.
you want him to go
You want him to be
go for
fun.
the ball.
Yeah,
All right,
because that's what
you
he
want him
does.
over the ball.
Yeah.
So his best position is that flank, and he's generally from the bench. All right, so because like if he's got 30 minutes left, he can just empty his tank and go fight every fucking ball. So that's what he does. Right. So I don't see him as an eighth man, and Low, I'm not sold on yet, to be honest.
I yeah, it's I think the other thing that I saw this year that look, it happens to all of us. It's happening to us. We're starting to see Eben. He's not breaking down. He's just not
Mm,
able to do the full 80 at 100%. You're starting to see it.
yeah.
It is, and it's the same thing with Sia. We knew it was Sia. He's a 50-minute guy, but you can see
Mm,
he is struggling at times out there. And I mean, like, look, we say that, but then we see what we have in the pipeline to replace somebody like Sia, and we're absolutely fine. Like,
yeah.
we're gonna be all right. Um, but it's like somebody like Eben who, that's not going to be somebody that's easily replaceable when it's time. He's going to be like an Alan Wynne Jones type guy. You cannot
Mm,
replace that level of skill and talent.
yeah.
And
Look, I mean, we can always put RG in that position. I think
and he's a
RG's
couple
got
years
a
younger.
couple of years left.
He is,
Yeah.
yeah, he is.
And he certainly has that aura about him. Um, maybe not quite the enforcer aura, but still quite an aggressive aura. And man, that guy's hands, like in an offload, is just fucking mental, right? Um, so yeah, look, I mean, that's why they want to manage these players. That's why they want to like try and get like duplicate like players in positions, right? is to ensure that we can try and make these guys' careers a bit longer, keep them around a little bit longer. I mean, I still think that Yemen can still make the next World Cup,
Oh,
mate.
I don't question that at all.
So,
I don't question that
so
whatsoever, and I think Sia makes it too, to be honest with you.
mm,
Whether he's our captain at that point remains to be
mm,
seen, but,
mm,
um, I think it was just kind of, somebody had made a comment that, like, at the end of it, you saw Rassi up in the coach's box, and they were
mm,
like, "This year, we watched Rassi age a lot." Like, he was looking rough, man, like, you can
mm,
tell, like, this was a and I'm sure it was because it's the year after a World Cup, you've gotta show that you still have what it's, takes to be the best team in the world, and
mm.
did we prove that this year? Yeah, we did. We finished as the best team in the world. We started as the
Yeah,
best team in the world, we finished as the best team in the world, and honestly, at least for me, that's honestly all that really matters at the end of the day.
yeah,
Like, did we get better? Exponentially, in my opinion. It goes to the All Blacks game. I don't know if you saw that. They didn't beat the shit out of Italy. Now, everybody, as far as the All Blacks camp going, like, oh, Italy got better. No, I think you got worse.
mm,
They went 3-3 in the rugby championship.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
two,
no, look, I mean, yeah, look, I mean, there, for me, the way we finished the year, like I said, I mean, I'm quite happy with the way we finished it off. As you mentioned, we started number one, we finished number one, which is great. At least we're managing to hold on to our number one spot with playing games, not
yeah.
with sitting on the sidelines, you know.
And watching the
Uh,
ratings change.
uh, Ireland. so, so yeah, look, at the end of the day, that was kind of awesome that we managed to do that. Whilst doing that with 51 players, 52 players.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, all in all, I think Rassi obviously has aged, but I think a lot of stress on him as well, eh? Because I mean, I've heard one position, well, one video clip or that he was saying like he was so stressed out because he had to go sell this plan to the team, right? And
Yeah.
you don't always know if the guys are going to buy into it, especially when you tell them, oh, this year you're not going to play as much. You're still part of the team, but you're not playing as much. And yeah, you still like everybody wants to know that they're the number one pick, but guess what? Nobody's got a number in that fucking squad, mate. Like you might get chosen more often, but you're not going to be hearing from the coach's box that you are the number one pick, right? So because they don't want that culture, they want the competition,
I
right? So
it kind of came up with the conversation I had with the people at the desk at the table with me yesterday, and we were talking about what a unique situation the Springboks have. Like you typically think like if Finn Russell was told that
yeah,
he had to move to the bench, he would be livid.
he would throw his toys out at the pram like a fucking soccer player.
Well, but I mean, like we're in such a unique position to where
Yeah,
Hondre has moved to the bench.
yeah,
And he doesn't
yeah,
have a crap attitude about it. Like when he
yeah,
comes in, he plays his game, and that's
yeah,
it. Like he like when they brought him, I expected okay, they're gonna replace Jordan with him. No, they replaced Dialendi, who had a great game as well, with
mm,
him, and it's like he's totally okay with like okay, look, I'm not starting, but when I come on, I'm gonna make sure everybody knows I'm out here. Like,
yeah, yeah.
and what other team could you say that where you take out your star 10 and put him on the bench and he doesn't have like a piss poor attitude about it? Like he's like, "Yeah, cool, right on." Like,
Look, man, I think they're all a little bit annoyed back at home, maybe.
yeah.
You know, knowing not you're not like the only chosen number or whatever. So, but I mean, that's part of becoming an adult, right? Is to know that you're not always going to get things your way, and knowing that your jersey, you are not bigger than the jersey. right? You're not bigger than the green and gold. And of course, as they always say, you play for a country, not for yourself, mate. So, you need to be able to also trust in those guys that's been put around you that they can go and do whatever it is that you do. You have to go and still support them, still believe in them, still love the green and gold, still like all the positives, all the good things.
Yeah, definitely.
So, um, but that I think builds a family and it builds culture, and it builds, you know, uh, I guess a firm belief in each other. Like it's all like it's like a religion, yeah, mate. Like rugby's like a religion for us. So I mean, these people believe it. Um, I'm sure there's some people that's annoyed about not getting selected every game, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think if you're going to be sitting there in the corner moaning about it the whole time, then you're not going to deliver the type of game plan that you're supposed to. And then, secondly, that then means that you do not get selected anymore because now you're playing piss poor because your attitude was shit. So unless you're somebody like Damien Delenda that can come out against Australia 2 years ago and really strip your mood at them, like fucking be pissed. And you put that try and you slam that ball down and you give the fucking crowd an FU. I mean, that's maybe some way to treat it.
It was,
but
I
but
mean,
yeah,
we can arguably say that we have the best, if not one of the best front rows in the world. We definitely
yeah.
have the best lock, one of the best locks in the world. We definitely have one of the best, if not the best flanker in the world, and Peter
I mean,
Stephenson.
he's nominated.
Yeah, and I would say arguably, is where he was before he got the big injury? No,
Mm,
but is still world class. And Esterhazen would start for any other country in the world. Period.
mm. Yeah, I'm sure.
And Esterhazen, a guy that disappointed me early and then came back and really showed like, hey, look, guys, there's a reason I'm in the rotation. Like he really came out and kind of showed like, hey, look, I'm
Mm,
fucking world class, guys. Don't forget I'm here. And kind of the same way, being like that veteran anchor coming off the bench, and you just kind of look at him and it's like, yeah, he still fucking has it. He just doesn't have maybe the speed that he used to, but he definitely still has the
yeah,
vision and the ability to create like he always has. And we have arguably we have the best winger in the world in Cheslin Colby. Like it's looking up. Things are looking
mm,
up. We have world class players in almost every position, 1 through 15.
yeah,
If they're not the best, they're in the conversation for being the best. Um,
yeah,
I really think we need to lock down 9. We need to find who are no, because I don't think Foff, if he comes back, I don't know what's going on with him.
yeah. I
He's
don't. To be honest, I don't think Faf is on his prime anymore, mate. Like,
yeah.
um, I think Grant's really putting up his hand. The moments that he did get an opportunity. I mean, last week we saw the way he played when he started. We've seen how he finishes games in the last 10 minutes. How much of pace he brings to the game. Unfortunately, let's be quite frank. Reinach is not going to be around for much longer, mate. So,
34. Yeah. Yeah. But
so
he's
I guess
great.
the question is then, who
Yeah.
is the alternative? And I mean, I guess for me, what I want to say is we need to start to maybe show some trust in that position in Grant, right? So because I mean, like a lot of these things they feed off like positive vibes, um, trust, all those type of things. So I mean, if you've got people that believe in you, all right, around you, and they edge you to go and be competitive and be adding positive value, then of course you're going to be playing harder, right? So I mean, you want to have that guy have all the confidence in the world that everybody in the team trusts him, and not just to finish off a game, but to actually start the game and put in a 60-70 minute shift.
So with Hendricksa, do you feel like he is behind Grant Williams as far as like Yeah, like you think he's just because to me, I feel like Grant is Grant, Hendricksa is a blend of Grant and Foth, and
Yeah.
then Kobus Reineck is just Kobus.
Look, I wouldn't necessarily put Grant above Hendricks at the moment. Um, but what I would want to see is that we keep cultivating that plant, right? And because you see how quickly somebody gets injured, and then who do you left? Who you left with?
Yeah,
So that's the thing. So and generally, a player like Grant Williams brings you a 7-1 split sometimes, or 6-2 split.
yeah,
Okay, so effectively, you want somebody like that that's a bit more versatile, to always be selected in your match day 23, right? So, and generally, when you have a look at the 6-2 split, 9 times out of 10, one of the players are a number 9 replacement.
yeah.
So, I would say they, for me, are very interchangeable. I must be honest, Hendrickson brings me a little bit of added value in terms of from a kicking perspective that he can kick the
Because
posts.
he can't kick the post. Yeah,
So that is a bit of an advantage. But at the same time, Grant brings a bit of more like flair around the park, right? So I guess it's whoever the coaches think is best, but I think we need to keep cultivating both.
I think that Grant works better with Sasha and Andre
Yeah,
versus Manny. I think Hendrikse works better with Andre, Manny, and then his brother, obviously.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you're right, though. It's two swords. They're both sharp. One is just maybe curved a little bit differently, and they can
mm,
both do the same damage. Um, I feel like Hendricks is a bit more of a traditional 9 as opposed to
mm,
Williams, because Williams can play wing. He's fast as hell.
yeah,
We've seen him play it. But then we have another X factor in that. Cheslin Colby can play 9-10 wing and fullback. We're getting to
yeah.
where we're creating backs that are all utilities outside of 12 or
Maybe 12.
13.
Yeah,
Like everybody could play every position.
but
Like
even the 13 position, usually we can play multiple. So your 13 position, that type of player can generally play 13. You can play him wing and fullback.
yeah, so it's like we're getting to the point where like every one of our backs is a utility player at this point.
Yeah,
And it's not a bad position to be in, especially if
yeah,
you want to run a 6-2 split.
yeah.
If you have an injury, you can you can put out Krill at wing, or you can put at wing, or you can put Williams at wing, or you can put, Colby at 15 or Colby at 9. We've seen Cheslin Colby play 9. Like it's not
I'm waiting for Colby to be hooker. So
Yeah, hey, interesting statistic. The only hooker this year to go 100% on his lineouts was just
yeah, on his one line out.
some feed scrums. We've seen him do it all. Cheslin, I mean, like,
Yeah,
so back to what we started the video with. Who do you
yeah.
think wins Player of the Year?
Who do I think is going to win it? I think it's going to be Colby. A lot of people like the flashiness of Colby. Uh, who I believe should have won it was Oxenchair,
Both of us agree.
but he was not nominated. Um, but I mean, that's not to say that I don't believe that Colby is not deserving.
Yeah,
I believe he is deserving of that position. I mean, he's a fucking phenomenal wing, and he can like really turn a game on its head, like just by stepping right. So, um, yeah, I think it's going to be Colby. I think he's done enough this year to really be a standout player for that specific appointment. Um, I think if they're going to go with Doris, who's that? Kalen Doris. Who's the other? Who's the
Kalen
Irish?
Doris. Kalen
If they're
Doris.
going to go with him, I feel like it's a crock of shit
I don't know.
because I
He did
mean,
really well in the Six
we
Nations,
no
and
look. I mean, there's fucking 75% chance that it's South African's going to take it, and then
yeah,
it's not one of them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. I feel like that would just be a bit iffy to me. It's just my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. So if y'all got a problem, fuck right off. um, but at the end of the day, he's a good player. I'm going to give it to him. He is a great player. But I still think from the people there that can be chosen, I think Colby is the man. Um, but then I would choose Wallace Atiti for breakout player of the
Right.
year.
Me
So
too. Me too. I feel like with so the one we haven't mentioned, and it's the one that I said, hey, I would have replaced for Oxenche was Eben. But like at the same time, it's like Eben is regularly regarded not just by South African fans as possibly one of the best locks to ever play the game.
yeah,
Getting a World Player of the Year award would just solidify that because he has
yeah,
not won it yet,
yeah.
and I think he should win it at least once. Because it just
No, I
adds.
think I think he's deserving as well. Like I said to you, I think all of them are deserving of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, you don't get nominated because you had a shit year. You know what I mean? Let's be quite frank. So I think they're all deserving of it. I wouldn't complain actually if any one of them got it.
no. If any one of them
I
get it,
just I
I'd be
just personally
happy as
believe
hell.
Oxen Chair should have gotten it. So
So do I.
that's just my opinion.
Um, they didn't announce the I guess the coach of the year, organization of the year. I think if they give it to anybody but Rassi Erasmus, it's bullshit. Because he's finishing the year with the best win rate, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm,
A rugby championship, Mandela Challenge, everything. We went undefeated in the Northern Tour. It's not.
mm,
If it's anybody but Rassi, it's absolute
no.
just cuck. But at the same time, it's like I get it if they don't. Like it's. You live as a Springbok fan with this chip on your shoulder, no matter
Yeah.
what, because it's kind of how you're supposed to. I guess it's how you're supposed to be a bit, like it's never
I know what you're talking about, man.
shit. We've talked about this, man. Like it's like okay, the difference between why do the All Blacks get all this respect and we don't? And they'll say, oh, it's the win rate, oh, it's this, and it's like no, it's the realization that like that jersey doesn't have like a stain on it because when somebody wants to talk shit about the Springboks and they're losing, they'll automatically bring up apartheid. Like it's
Do you get
almost
that?
what's up?
Do you get that?
Oh, all the fucking time, dude.
I
All
don't get that.
all the fucking time, man. Like and it's like that came up yesterday when we were watching the game. It was kind of like
Oh,
with these
really?
South Africans and it's kind of like look, man, I'm not going to tell you what to think, but like, look, if you're a racist, this is the last team you should support.
Yeah, of course.
Like that is
So
like if you're
that's what I'm saying. I don't get that stuff because, uh, I mean, the player I think is the best player this year is
it's
no
not
white.
white, it's not
Okay,
white. Yeah, like
so I
I just
try and gauge them on the ability that they bring to the field
it's just
because
it's
at the end of the day,
yeah,
I
it's the
just don't get it.
stain that it has, and like even yesterday after the Italy All Blacks game, there's a photo floating around of like TJ because it was his last game, and a couple of the other Modi boys on the team holding up
Mm.
the Modi flag for New Zealand as like a solidarity with the protests that are currently going on in Wellington right now. And like
Yeah,
I have a lot of Modi friends who will tell you 100% that like, oh yeah, like they look at South Africa as like, oh, it's the racist country, and it's like, dude,
yeah,
like I'm Modi living in New Zealand, and it's just as bad towards us here. You know what I mean? Like it's not.
yeah,
It's like the All Blacks are the clean, nice team that everybody can support, and then you look at the Springboks, and it's like, oh, their history of that emblem, and then load
yeah,
shedding and like all this shit. It's just kind of like, guys, look, like we're never going to be as marketable as the All Blacks, but you know what? I'm okay with that because I don't want to be fucking Nike. I don't want to be marketable. I just want to win.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, look, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of the things that we got called out for in the past, I'm talking specifically about the game, not necessarily about the racial
society and
connotations.
culture. Yeah.
Um, is that where people said that we play boring rugby? People said that we don't bring the right spirit to the game. Like that fuckface from wherever the fuck he's from. What's that coach that never won a game from for Scotland? What's his fucking name? That jackass. I can't even remember his fucking name. But anyways, he doesn't matter that much to me. So, there's a lot of like talk about like the Springbok rugby like way of I guess their culture or whatever, right? So but when you watch a lot of videos online, which I fucking do,
Yeah.
there's a number of people that I listen to, right? So there's number one, there's Tim from the Egg Chasers Rugby channel, which I generally listen to.
Mhm.
I feel like he's got a very unbiased opinion, and he's very pretty insightful on occasions, and I just enjoy his type of content. Um, and then of course there's guys like, for instance, 2 Cents, and those type of guys that I also enjoy watching.
He is the Mr. Rogers of doing this. I don't know if you know who Mr. Rogers is, right? Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
That's Mark. I've known Mark
Yeah.
since the beginning, man, and like that guy.
Yeah.
Is he biased? Hell yeah, that guy is a massive Kiwi. Like he
Yeah,
fucking
of course.
loves New Zealand rugby, but like he's also not like a. And he even brought up to me like
No.
we were known for playing boring, grinding rugby. He was
Yeah.
like, "That's not you guys anymore." And
Yeah.
how are the All Blacks winning now?
Yeah.
Playing
But the
boring,
scrums and like set
grinding
pieces.
rugby. Like it's like you guys mastered it and then you moved on. But then we've proven time and time again that if we have to revert back to that, oh, we're still the best in the world at doing it. Like it's
Yeah, for sure. But this is the point I'm trying to get. When you listen to all these guys, they're all like saying the same thing. They're saying that the Springboks ain't no longer the same as what everybody expected them to be, right? Like if you
even Jeff
like
Wilson had to
this
admit it. Even Jeff Wilson and
100%, he had to that
had to
motherfucker
admit
had to.
it.
He had to, that motherfucker. So I mean, at the end of the day, we're staring him right in the face. He could just only but agree, but um, but like all these guys, they're coming to the realization, and of course, we're no longer just a one trick pony. Squidge Rugby. I mean, done like so many analysis about us. There's a new uh, podcast, or yeah, I guess you could call it a podcast on YouTube that I'm listening to, for the love of rugby.
Okay.
I think it was the ex scrum off that used to play for England that's hosting it.
Okay.
With what's that bold guy that plays for England still, but he's quite old. We fucking always demolish him in the scrum.
Is that Joe Marler?
Sorry.
Joe Marler?
Sorry?
Joe
No,
Marler's
no, no, not Joe Marler. The other guy, he's a bald guy. He doesn't have hair. I just can't. I just can't remember his name now. But they generally do it mostly together. But I got to say that guy also. He's got being an England person, okay, an English person, an ex-England player. You would expect him to be a bit biased towards British rugby, but check him out. He's actually becoming quite a nice journo when it comes to this type of thing.
It's not just him like stroking Steve Borthwick off for
100%. In fact, he's going after them. He's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah,
What the fuck?"
like Borthwick is not the best coach.
Yeah. So he just like Anyways, so
So
these guys are all saying that we actually no longer that which people believed us to be. So which is nice.
speaking of that whole situation, Andy Farrell has stepped away from Ireland for the year because he's going to go do the British and Irish Lions tour, which is common amongst coaches.
Yeah.
But it would not surprise me one bit to see that man coaching England one day. It would not surprise me a single fucking bit.
Look, he might do some wonders with England. I've watched some videos, right, and a lot of people are actually taking on Borthwick because
He's
they
really
believe
not
he's
that good of a
inexperienced.
coach. He's really
He's,
not that good of a coach, in my
but
opinion.
also he might look old, but he's inexperienced, mate.
Yeah,
Like so, I mean, didn't really coach much in terms of international teams before. So from an inexperienced point of view, and then of course you're having guys like Felix Jones at your disposal, and you and basically
you toss him out the door.
you you toss him out the door, right? Like, come on, bro. Like you're going to be playing South Africa. Honestly, you're going to be playing South Africa, okay, as an English team, okay, and here you've got the fucking coach that helps set up the best fucking defense in the
Yeah,
fucking world,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that's what he was, right? Defense coach, yeah.
Oh, he was a forwards coach.
So
Or he was our backs coach. He was our backs coach.
Felix
Yeah,
Jones.
was he our backs coach or
Ah,
forward?
fucking can't remember. But I mean, he was part and parcel of that whole like that coaching team, right? That set up the best defensive structures. Like people couldn't get tries against us, mate. Like Scotland couldn't score a try against us in 2 fucking games over 2 years. Okay, England couldn't score one against us in the 2019 World Cup, right?
What was the
So
score of that one again?
32-12. Anyways, so I mean, yeah, you've got this guy that's got the inside knowledge. He's got the inside info, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, and you let him go. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, okay, look, let's take a step back. Okay, he knows everything. Let's say you don't make your decisions based on just one team that you're going to be facing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that guy was part and parcel of the fucking team that helped us beat other teams. Okay, not just England. We beat other teams as well. Okay, so yeah, look, I mean, I don't know what politics is going on in that camp, but I would have Felix Jones back anytime. Like, he was a good fucking analyst, and he understood like how we need to do things, right?
So, with that being said, you know who's back in South Africa now, right?
Are we talking about Ackerman?
Yes.
I'm fucking happy about that, mate.
Where does he need to go?
He's got assistant coach of the Springboks, number one. Number two, he can come to. Well, I think he needs to go to the Sharks because we need a good Sharks team. Because let's be honest, Plumtree's shit. Okay, but he'll probably end up going to the Lions. But the Lions don't really need it because
I
I mean the Lions is doing pretty well
think
for like
Fun
having
Rowan,
unnamed team.
Fun Rowan does
Yeah,
great with what he has.
yeah.
So the reason I bring this up is like I was like, man,
Or you can go to Province.
let me send a tweet to Mark Cuban real quick here. Hey Mark, man, you ought to offer him to come coach the USA.
God, bro, the USA might stand a chance at qualifying.
With Ackerman as the coach. No, because I think if Ackerman got here, he would just be too honest and be like, "Okay, MLR, you need to get the fuck out of here. You're not helping anything." it's that's what
We
people.
we we're going to qualify, and by doing so, we're going to get a bunch of South Africans
Well,
playing in the
no, so
fucking game.
so people want to talk about how well the U.S. did on this autumn series, and you want to know why they did so well?
Yeah,
Because they had
I want
all
to
their
know.
European-based players on the team. AJ McGinty plays in the Premiership. Ruben de Haas plays for the Cheetahs, and Bloemfontein also played in the Premiership. Yes, Ruben de Haas is South African, but like they had all their European-based players on this team, and that's why they did so well. When they don't have those European-based players, they get beat by Romania, Chile. You know what I mean? Like they don't. And it's something. The problem is now is we've talked about the MLR and the struggles of the league. Well, the MLR
Mhm.
is basically USA Rugby now.
Yeah.
Like it's the same people, and the people that run the MLR are not rugby people. They're former NBA execs. They're not rugby people. Like they don't know. They're trying to make a buck, is what they're trying to do. And
They
like,
can make a buck, but we've had this conversation before. It's a question of the chicken or the egg, mate. Like you
yeah,
have to put your money where your mouth is. But pay these people proper salaries. Get it from the ground phase up. Get it being played in schools.
yeah,
It's there's a lot of
has
hard
to be
work that needs to be
organic.
done.
It has to be
Yeah.
organic. It has, and I mean, there's rumors of a league that's going to potentially a competition that's going to start up. It's going to be a short season format. They're going to offer the players $900,000 contracts, and it's a short season, so it won't interrupt like the club season or the international season. But they're going to try and bring all the top names into that competition here. I think it's going to be
I
like
think they should do that.
it's
I
going to be
think
like
I think
yeah, they do it with cricket already, and the cricket games
yeah.
all sell out.
God,
Like
bro. Your
it,
cricket team is fucking just Indians. So let's
hey,
be honest.
listen, man, 4 of those guys were born here. A lot of them were born in
Of
India,
Indian descent?
and then we've got a couple of South Africans, Kiwis, Englishmen, and Australians on the team too, man. It's not all just Indians on the USA cricket team, man.
Hey,
Like
bro, you can be Indian and be Australian at the same time, man.
exactly. Well, shit, Devin Conway plays over here in Major League Cricket for Seattle. Devin Conway is from South Africa and plays for New
Yeah.
Zealand. Like it's really like I said, but that's the reason cricket works so well here is they got a billionaire. They got Ross Perot Jr. His daddy ran for president in '92. Everybody remembers that because he was a pie chart. He always used pie charts to like explain economic, which is smart to like
Yeah.
people that don't understand finances. And
Yeah.
his son is the main financier. He's a multi-billionaire. He's a real estate developer. He got rich, and he's the main financier behind the league. He's the reason that the U.S. co-hosted the T20 World Cup last summer, year, winter, or summer, and that's what they're doing. They're bringing over the former Proteas captain, Faf du Plessis. He's the captain of the Super Kings here in Grand Prairie in Texas. Like they bring over the big names for an 8-week season. Every game sells out. You get to see all the big names, and then they go back to the IPL or to the what do they call it? What is it called in South Africa? Is it the Super?
No, look, I mean, I don't even know. I don't really follow cricket.
Because you've gone through a couple of different, but now like IPL teams own
Mm.
all of your teams, so that's how it's financed.
Mm.
But like it works, and if they want to do that with rugby, fuck yeah, I think it would work. Bring all the
Yeah.
big teams over, and I'm gonna go ahead and get a list together of. Let me get Peter Stuff. Let me get Cheslin. Let me get all these guys over here for a short season.
So basically, the Springbok team.
Yeah, I mean, but like, let me get these guys over for a short season so I can at least get selfies with every single fucking one of them, and you know, it'll help. And I think that would be the best option to grow the game here because Major League Rugby is not growing. Two of the teams that played in big stadiums last year just got informed that they're not playing in those stadiums this season because they couldn't sell enough tickets. San Diego is moving into a 4,000 seater from a 25,000 seater. LA is moving into basically a park from a 10,000 seat stadium. It's not the league is not moving in the right direction. Some of the programs are established very well. Seattle is run well. NOLA, obviously, Heineke Meyer went down to Houston and fucking established a proper academy. They have a U16, U18, U20 academy side and the top team. And that's what we need. We need guys to show up here, and because now Houston actually has high school rugby. There's schoolboy rugby in Houston, Texas now. Because of
I think what needs to happen, okay, even if it means buying some of the fucking top knob fucking players, right, from across the world, okay, and have them play for the USA Eagles, okay. All right. Now, look, hear me out. Okay. Get them into a competition, but give them a proper coach. Okay. Like Ackerman or whatever. Don't touch Rossi. We will fucking kill you guys.
That's never happening. Rossi can't coach anymore. He's already said he can't.
So, but I mean, Ackerman, we can loan you guys. Okay. So get somebody proper like Ackerman. Okay. To come and coach that fucking all-star team.
Yeah.
Okay. Get like a 12-game fucking competition going.
Yeah.
Okay. Against like proper teams across the world. All right. At least from people that from countries where people think rugby is played. So get an English team, get a fucking Australian team. You know, those type of guys. Because people like when Jenny and I watched A lot of videos of Americans reacting to rugby. I liked watching that because it was always funny. They generally say it's like, yeah, this is a game from the UK and blah blah blah. Okay, so they don't really think it's a game from South Africa, even or a game that's played in South Africa, and we're the best in the motherfucking world. Anyway, let me
I,
not go ranting.
I let
The
people
point
do
is,
and honestly, when it's African Americans watching those videos, I automatically say, "Go look at the South African team." And when
yeah,
they come back, they're like, "Oh, shit." And I'm like, "Yeah,
yeah,
that's the team you should be supporting, brother. Just telling you."
yeah.
And they're like,
So,
"Yes,
anyways, get a team like that, okay, and have them like get like silver or gold, okay, in
yeah,
that competition, okay, the USA Eagles, I mean,
yeah,
okay. So, but make a big fucking marketing spectacle of it,
yeah,
okay? Like fucking everywhere on cable, telly, fucking everywhere. Like wherever you want to watch it, fucking have them watch it, be able to
yeah."
watch it. Because this is what you want, okay? Are you listening, MLR? Or what do you call it?
USA,
What,
whatever,
what do you
whoever.
call it? What do you call your fucking teams, anyways?
Yeah,
Okay? This is what you want. You want people to want to grow up to be like that. That's what you want, okay? Because that's going to drive your future growth in this fucking game, okay? You guys got fucking 360,
60 million,
70,
60,
80, I don't fucking know how
360.
many million people in your fucking country, okay? Surely, surely you should be able to put up a team that is formidable,
That is at
okay?
least
Because
competitive. Yeah,
100%. You have to be able to do that. Okay, just because of the talent pool that you get to choose from. Okay, the amount of people that you can choose from. Surely you should be able to do it. I mean, it's. I'm pretty sure it's not the Ivy League schools only that need to play rugby, man. There's like a lot of fucking places that would want to be playing rugby. Okay, so anyway, so if you can get that ground phase, like you mentioned earlier, like primary school or high school, like entry levels. Okay, and these people got people like Sia to look up to. Like that's what we've got here, right? We've got guys in these little townships. They still want to play rugby because they got somebody like Sia to look out for, right?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
somebody like Oxenchair to look up to, right? So this is what you want in your country. Okay, you want people to look up to these guys and be like, oh wow, I want to be like that one day. Okay, and that's the only thing that's going to drive it, mate. But unfortunately, that takes a fuck ton of money. Okay, you need to be putting some investment behind it. But what frustrates me the most is that that's one thing that the USA don't fucking struggle with. Okay, is fucking money. If you got a $2 trillion fucking economy, okay, surely,
I did the math a couple weeks back, and so I added up all of the billionaires in the Six Nations, the Rugby Championship, and Japan. Okay, all of the billionaires in those countries, and it came out to about 520. Okay,
yeah,
between 11 countries. Okay, the United States had 900 by themselves, and it's like and it's something that, like, especially younger rugby fans don't wanna listen to, that, like, I've
mm,
explained to them, if the US ever got into this, you're gonna find out that, because there's a certain country that their fans think their players strictly play there for pride. I'm like, you're gonna find out that they're professional rugby players. They're gonna fucking bounce for a paycheck immediately.
yeah,
And there's a certain they're like, "Oh, no, they'll never change those rules in our country because our players play for pride." And it's like, "No, they fucking don't. They all play at Leinster because that's who pays the most. That's
yeah,
it." Like,
yeah.
but yeah, it's we could do this at another I just like, yeah, like I don't
Come on, Elon. Elon, invest in fucking rugby, man.
he
Come on,
doesn't give
you're a
a fuck
fucking South
about he
African.
doesn't
You
give a
must
fuck.
love rugby.
He's trying to shut down his competition. He's gonna shut down NASA. But yeah. So that's it
Dude,
for this
that
week.
guy's gonna run the fucking world one day. He's gonna be fucking
I just
Caesar
so
of
here,
the
like,
world.
here's I've told you my Elon story about being at the
Yeah,
robot, and he was in the car
yeah,
next to me,
yeah,
giving me the thumbs up because of the South
yeah.
African flag on my car. But like, it's America, like, guys, it's America. It's a fucking, if you wanna know what America is, watch Jersey Shore. That's what America is. It's just, like, great people, good people, interesting people, but, like, fuck, we're like a reality TV show here if I could describe us in any way, but,
Yeah.
anywho, next week, we'll be back, same time, same place. Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'll, fuck with this streaming site and be able to put our intro with "Fuck Off Policey Car" because they fucking rule. Speaking of which,
Yes.
they're opening up for Green Day and The Offspring, dude, in South Africa.
Yeah, they should actually open for them.
Exactly, exactly. Green Day and Offspring both first time playing in South Africa, and that's who they've asked to be the opening act. I think they're playing at Cape Town, and then they're doing the big one. Is that
Mm.
FNB and White
Yeah,
in
FNB Stadium, I think it is.
Soweto? That's like 100,000 people.
I was like, I ain't not fucking going,
Tickets too
right?
expensive?
No, it wasn't the fucking tickets, mate. Like, what the fuck do you think? Like, do you know how the traffic's gonna be there, mate? Like
Oh, it's gonna be a
parking, it's
nightmare.
gonna
It's
be a
gonna be a
fucking
nightmare.
nightmare.
It's gonna be a
Like to use a
nightmare.
toilet and have like to be able to get a drink,
Dude,
like fucking everything's gonna be fucking trash, mate.
if I go to shows now, like, I wanna find a place that has seating because I don't wanna
Yeah,
stand the entire fucking time. Like, it's because 'cause I'm getting old. I know it's because 'cause I'm getting old. We
yeah.
couple of summers back, I did a festival out in Alabama, and, like, after 2 days, dude, I was like, "Dude, I'm going." Man, my fucking knees were swollen, dude. I was just like, "Fuck this. I'm not a teenager anymore. I can't do this shit anymore."
You
So,
know what? You know what? I've come to the realization, if I can't shit somewhere, I don't want to go there.
I wanna go. I can't take a shit. I don't wanna go. That's not a bad mentality to have, man, and, like, look, um, as somebody that has traveled extensively, one of the
Yeah,
first things I do when I get to a place is find out where I can use the toilet. Like
for sure, mate.
because I just wanna make sure that when I take a dump, it's a safe and clean environment. Dude, I'll tell you, if you're ever traveling, I'll tell you the best place to use bathrooms, hotel lobbies, because they're always fucking clean. They're
And
always
they're
fucking
always open.
and they're always open, and they don't ask
Yep.
if you're a guest. Just look like you're a guest. Just, "Oh, yeah, I just
Yeah.
need to use the toilet real quick, heading up to my room." Go in there and absolutely destroy their toilet.
Fortunately, we don't have Taco Bell here, so we don't destroy it as badly.
Oh, man, shit. Yeah, it's gonna be yeah, dude, it's even traveling, I'll do one last story and then we'll go, but, we were on our way the, Tasman Mako of the Bunnings NPC in New Zealand, they were doing a US tour. They played Houston, they played Seattle, and we drove down from Dallas to see them play in Houston. And we stopped at a roadside petrol station, like truck for big rigs, for like it's like a truck stop. And
Yep.
I needed to use the bathroom, and I went in there, and I went into the bathroom, and it was disgusting. And I come out of the bathroom, and my wife was like, "Hey, did you use the toilet?" And I'm like, "It wasn't fit for Christian cheeks." Now this is Texas, folks. This is
Yeah.
Texas. She loudly, "You're not a fucking Christian," and, like, the entire store just starts staring at me immediately, like and I'm like, "Okay, I'm getting the fuck out of here." Like, you did not need to shout that loudly for everyone to hear, but it wasn't fit for
Yeah.
Christian cheeks, it was a filthy bathroom. Why would I use a toilet where it's like you're pissing shit out? No, I wanna use a clean fucking toilet, damn it, like,
Yeah,
I've been
man.
I've been on the road for 3.5 hours. I need to drop this load.
You're busy fucking prairie dogging it, mate. It needs
I've
to
been
go out.
this is this is an extra wide load here that I'm carrying on this cargo here, because it's a truck stop. I gotta make sure my load weight is proper before I
If
fucking
you had to reverse into that bathroom and it goes beep,
yeah,
beep,
dude.
beep.
Let me drop this beast in peace, for fuck's sake. But anyways,
Oh fuck.
what a way to end it. Talking about taking a
Yeah,
dump
man.
in the truck stop
Yeah,
bathroom.
for sure.
All right, man. We'll
That-
see you guys next week.
Thanks,
Pierre.
guys. Thanks for everybody coming out, and thanks for guys that chatted to us on the live. We're looking forward to seeing you guys next time.